All right, welcome back, Northland. Well, this morning I'm joined live by a very special Minnesota author with quite the story to share her new book, Your Elite Energy, Bree Bacon. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
I am ready to channel my elite energy and learn a thing or two from you. Bree, I want to start with, what does that mean, your elite energy, to you specifically? And also, now that you're sharing this with others, what do you hope that this message sends?
Yeah, so burnout rates are unfortunately skyrocketing. According to Microsoft, over 50% of managers feel at risk of burnout, and Mercer actually says over 80% of employees feel at risk of burnout. We live in a culture that loves being always on, do more, achieve more, push ourselves to the limit. But the truth is, our energy, our capacity is not infinite. It needs to be protected, nurtured, and replenished. And so that's what your elite energy is all about. Energy in physics stands for the capacity to do work. And elite, as an adjective, stands for the best or most effective. So all together, your elite energy stands for your personal best capacity. And I take this device, which some know as just a decoration for desks, but this is actually called Newton's pendulum or Newton's cradle. And in physics, it teaches about the conservation of energy. And so I use it as a framework, a visual for your own energy, your own capacity. So the base is your personal values and beliefs, the bedrock, the 3 to 5 principles that you want to represent in the world, no matter what comes your way in the day. The core 3 balls that stay steady as the 2 end balls go back and forth is what you do for your mind, body, and heart. And the end 2 balls is what you do to rest and recharge, and what you do to reach and challenge yourself.
Bree, what inspired this? You have a lot to your story, and I want to give you the space to share. A breast cancer survivor, you've gone through miscarriages, you're a mom, postpartum, anxiety, depression, to name a few things that really, not only do you have the education, you're a very wise woman, but you truly have lived a life that a lot of people, maybe they can relate in aspects, or maybe they can't, but tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah. So the whole inspiration of this came from my own crash and burn experience. So like you mentioned, I have a daughter who is turning 4 next week, but before her, like many, my husband and I experienced a really hard journey to starting our family. So we had 5 miscarriages before what I call my miracle baby girl. And then we had a 6th miscarriage after her, which led to what I call my crash and burn moment. And at the time, I was trying to give 110% to my miracle daughter and 110% to my team, and wasn't taking care of my ecosystem, my well-being, and I almost felt guilty taking care of it. Like I needed to give my whole self to my miracle daughter and my job and responsibilities. And the truth is, actually taking care of our ecosystem is what unlocks our best capacity, so we have the energy to give to what we care about.
How did you get to that place, though? What did you find to be one of the most important steps you took for yourself in order? I always say, no one looks at a garden and sees one flower blooming and says, that's a beautiful garden, right? But if you see the garden mostly watered in its entirety and evenly blooming, it catches your attention. But if you could just tell me about how you took that first step and what someone at home might need to do or want to do.
Yeah. Well, before I got to take that first step, I had another issue. So, when I crashed and burned, I had, I was reflecting on everything I learned and had gone through with that journey. And that's when the framework came to mind. And I really felt like my story and the framework needed to be in the world, just because there's so many of us that are burning out, right? And so back in 2022, this is the story and the framework that I wanted to bring to the world. But that fall, I got diagnosed with stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. And I like to say, with the pendulum, the balls were flying all over the place, right? I was given a 50% chance of survival. I was told I had to do 6 months of chemotherapy, followed by surgery and radiation, and another 6 months of immune therapy. So the whole treatment plan was over a year. And so the whole dream around this went on pause as I went through that journey. But miraculously, when I got to surgery, the cancer was all dead, and I got to restart my capacity, my energy, and really get to bring this concept to the world. But I always tell people, when you go through something that traumatic, that the most important thing to do is to start with rest and get your body out of that fight or flight mode. Give yourself some grace, but when you're ready that you can do hard things. And so when I finished my very last cancer treatment, I had 2 goals. The first was to write this book and get this concept into the world. So I found a coaching program and a publisher. My second goal was a physical one. I wanted to run my first ever half marathon. I wanted to go from being in the worst physical health of my life, having done 6 months of chemotherapy, lost all my hair, like bald, to doing my first ever race. So I actually chose grandma's here in Duluth. And so June 2023 was my cancer, my chemo, kind of the worst health of my life. And the next summer, June of 2024, I ran my first ever half marathon here in Duluth. Anyone that ran it knows it was rainy and cold that morning, but I did it. And then just a few weeks ago, I celebrated being 2 years cancer-free, running the half marathon again.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, seriously amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your story,
Yeah.
for enlightening us a little bit, putting it on paper, and allowing someone at home to maybe realize this is the moment. You know, I've had my breaking point, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you've been there, you will be there. We've all got that in us, right? That comes with time, that's part of life. But what is your last message, Bree, as people move through their life and go through different things to get to their elite energy and continue growing?
Yeah, I always love to tell people that you have a unique energy, a distinct capacity that no one else has. And so you are worth doing the work to really think about your ecosystem and what puts you at your best. So I hope you feel worth it and that you're worth doing these exercises and investing in yourself.
Amazing. Bree, thank you. If people want to connect with you or get your book themselves, where should they go?
Yeah, so it's available on Amazon. The audiobook will also be out in October, but the paperback, hardcover are on Amazon right now. And then you can also go to www.breebacon.com to learn about my 10-week coaching program or connect with me on social media at Bree Bacon Author.
Wonderful. Bree, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back.